Hey, good morning everyone. Just wanted to make a video. If you're somebody that bought the SRT climbing kits and you're using a Gree or even like a Mad Rock, I'm not too sure about the Mad Rock because I've only tried that a couple of times, but I use a Gree Plus for my SRT climbing, and I just wanted to share with you something. It's a little thing that I think a lot of guys will pick up on their own when they do it, but I've learned that the orientation of the Gree plays a big role in how smooth your system will work when you're climbing. So you know, you've got the Gree. I found I'm right-handed, so when I'm climbing, I'm going to basically be using my right hand for the end where the rope is, that I'm pulling down on the rope that's advancing my Gree and you know, working my way up my climbing line. So I found that I always want to have the handle on my Gree facing me, either facing me or facing left. In this case, you know, usually when you have you're going to have your bridge, so you're going to be able to have it facing you. Now, one other thing here, let me just show you another little piece of advice. When you take your Gree, I always like to take my Gree, again, handle facing me, and take the open end of my carabiner, run it through from this side, not from the back, but from this side. So when I go through and flip it all the way over, now this is, I've got the open end of my carabiner is down on the bottom, and I can just catch that onto my, my bridge. So I have my handle facing towards me. I'll pull up on my slack end a little bit here just to get some tension on it. And then I've got my hand ascender. And whether you're using just a normal hand ascender with either a carabiner on the bottom, or if you're lucky enough to get one like the CT Quick Roll with the micro pulley, which is my favorite, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to take this side, clip it in, and this way it's coming up and through, whether it's through your micro pulley or through a carabiner, so that when you're pulling down, when you're pulling with your right hand, it's pulling away from everything. And then your foot loop will now be, it'll be free from everything. Now, one other thing I want to show you too is, you see here, this is actually not in the best position. Let me just, this thing's tightened up here. So the Delta Link that holds, or the Quick Link that you use to hold your foot loop in, what you're going to want to do, this one here is the Singing Rock foot loop, and it has an adjustment on it. And I like to take it where this part of the adjustment is away from my Gree and everything else. Okay, because as I climb, I don't want this to touch and have metal to metal contact. So if I turn that buckle away from where the Gree is and attach that to my hand ascender, it's much less likely to touch and have that clicking metal sound. So I have that away. I have the handle on my Gree towards me, okay? Because you've got a 50-50 shot, right? If I clip this into my, if I have this clipped into my bridge and I had it this way, well, now it's clipped away, and now you can see there's kind of a twist in everything, right? Now I'm trying to pull like this, and I've got my lines twisted. I'm causing friction here. You don't want that. So you want to have the orientation of your Gree such that everything's smooth. You have three lines, you know, one coming down, coming back up and back down. They're not touching, there's no friction, and I've got my handle towards me. I find that works best. And then once I sit into my once I'm sitting into my system here, I can take my foot, put it into my foot loop, and here, if you notice, you could even probably do something maybe if you find just that sweet spot and get this adjusted right. Maybe it'd be a good idea to get some like a piece of rubber for like a bicycle tube, maybe like a small bike tube tire piece of rubber that would slide over this, because this way you won't have any metal that can touch metal to metal. That might be a good idea. I'll look into doing something like that. But I like to try to climb very slowly and quietly. So when I'm climbing, I'm very conscious of when I take my step and I advance my gree-gree, that as this gree-gree gets closer to this foot loop, that they don't touch each other and make any noise. So if you're climbing nice and slow, you can do that really nice and easy and very, very cautiously. And then there's no noise. And you know, when you're climbing like this, it's not a race. You can just, you're climbing typically about 20 to 25 feet in a hunting situation. So, you know, even if you just really take your time SRT climbing, you're going to be up the tree from the time you start to climb. You're going to be up that tree faster than any other method. I mean, I can probably SRT climb slowly faster than I can climb up a set of sticks with my hands. You know, if you're not racing, you know what I mean? So take your time when you do it. But I just wanted to point that out. That orientation and being conscious of how your system is set up is key to having it be very smooth and fluid. You know, so again, my handle towards me, bring my line up, clip it in, and I can look, everything's nice and smooth. And I want my buckle on this facing away from me, facing away from the gree-gree. I don't want it facing towards it, because when it comes up, you just don't want it to catch that metal. If you have it facing away from you, even if it does touch, it's just going to hit the webbing and not catch any of the metal. And it'll be nice and smooth for you. Nice and smooth. Smooth and easy. So one thing I really like about SRT climbing, once you completely master the technique with it, it's really nice and smooth. It doesn't get any easier to climb. All right, so hopefully that's helpful for any of you SRT climbers. This form of SRT climbing is like RAD, rapid ascent, same idea, and it's right now it's probably my favorite way to go. I really enjoy DRT climbing as well, but there's just no friction in this system, and it's a little bit easier to if you're somebody that wants to go in using a throw ball just that day. I tend to find I'm using SRT practically all the time when I'm setting preset loops, because I can just throw my throw ball up into a tree. I don't have to worry about catching the right limb. I can girth hitch the entire trunk of the tree, get up in there, and then I'll set my paracord loop in the limb that I want for DRT climbing, so that when I can come back, I could do it either way. I could DRT climb or I can SRT climb. And I'm fortunate I have both systems, so I'm able to do both, and it's kind of cool. So hopefully that's helpful. All right guys, climb safe and best of luck.